In the demanding and ever-evolving world of football, officiating requires experience, integrity, and leadership, which are an extremely invaluable assets. Few embody these qualities comprehensively than Mr. Alexander Kotey, referees manager of the Ghana Football Association. With 2 decades of experience, or with 2 decades of officiating experience, 8 of which he served as a distinguished FIFA A-listed referee, Mr. Kotey's professionalism has been underpinned by his hard work ethics, and his unwavering and unbridled commitment to the laws of the game. This morning on GFA News, we have an exclusive interview with the referees manager of the Football Association, who will tell us about the modern trend, his life as an official, transition from the pitch into administration, a man who has a clear understanding of structures underpinned by elites of refereeing here in Ghana. Mr. Kotey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Kotey.
20 years as a fifth top of referee, 8 of which you serve as a distinguished FIFA referee. Walk us through the journey from the pitch to administration.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that my life in refereeing did not start just like that. I played football from the school days. Then I went into the 2nd division then, because at that time we didn't have the Premier. It was Division 1 and Division 2. So I played up to the level of Division 2, got some injuries, and that took me off from the pitch as a player. And so I think that after a while, I was officiating some games, around my area as a barracks boy, and there was this one police officer called Inspector Boabin. So after one of such games, he just called me and said, "Oh, Alex, why don't you think of going to refereeing? Because looking at the way you officiate in these games, I think that you going to refereeing will be very good." I said, "Well, I have not thought about that, but then I'll give it a try." So after school, after my A-levels, I gained employment. I worked with a construction firm as a stores manager, and I met a friend, in fact, a family friend,
okay,
who actually owns a football, in fact, a coach club.
Okay.
And so at a point, he said, "Oh, the coach was too demanding," and so he wanted to stop. So I asked him, "So if you are stopping coach, what do you want to do?" He said, "Well, he's thinking of going to refereeing." So at that time, that notion has come already to me, and so I said, "Okay, then let us go." You understand? So the 2 of us applied. That was in 1988.
Oh, okay, 88.
In 1988, we applied. We went through the interviews. We went through some small examinations. We passed, and then we got enrolled. So 89, we came out as potential referees, but in Accra. So that was how the whole journey of refereeing, started. I mean, in fact, when we started, we were about 100 of us.
Okay.
That went through the interview, the enlistment, the training, and everything. But at the time we finished in 1989, just 50 of us were left. And so we continued, and through discipline, hard work, and what have you, among my mates, I was the only person who became a FIFA referee.
Wow.
Yes. And so that is how the whole idea of refereeing, started.
So you got opportunity to be a top official here in Ghana for an astonishing 20 years. I mean, what for you have been some of the defining moments for you on the domestic scene as a referee? Your major high point, the games that you look back today and says, "Hey, I was top class in this particular game." Are there some games that you remember?
I remember this match in second D. Mm-hmm. It was Hazakis 11 Wise.
Oh,
These were very tough games,
That's
at the
some
time.
cliffhanger. I can
Very, very,
imagine.
very, very tough games, at the time. And if you're a referee, and in the year or in the season, you happen to be appointed to officiate in matches like Wise Hazakes, BA United, Bofakwa United, Asante Kotoko Cornerstones, has Olympus, Dwarfs, Vipers. These were local clubs, so the rivalry amongst them is very, very high, you understand? And so I happened to officiate in one of their games at the Jandu Park, and it was quite interesting. In fact, in the bus was we were traveling from Accra to Sekondi. Just when we got to Shama, I think the driver just tuned to. At that time, we had only one, radio station, and so they just tuned to the station, and then we heard the match involving Hazakes and Wise. We were speaking, fancy, and I didn't know what happened. All of a sudden, the focus was rather on referees. Referees, the referees who are coming up, if they don't take care, they come, who beat them? I was sitting very close to my assistants, so I looked at none of them, and I was like, hey, Charlie, we are getting ready for a very tough game.
Yeah.
In fact, at that time, Hazakes and Wise, they were trying to avoid relegation, so it was a very tough game.
So the stakes were very, very high.
Very, 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 very high. At the end of the day, I think Wise won by 3-1. It rained very heavy in the morning till about 12 o'clock thereabout. It stopped, and at the time we got to the stadium, the place was packed, even on the rain.
Wow.
Even on the rain, packed. So the sports organizer had to go and look for mattresses to come and soak the water off the field, because it was like, and there's a man match now, the BBC. You understand?
Yeah,
and so if eventually the water on the pitch was cleared, they had to remark the field, and then we went to the game. And Wise had very easy goals. They scored some quick 3 goals.
Yeah,
so these were some of the games. And I remember there was one other match at Tamale, the Caladan Park.
Oh, the famous Caladan Park.
The famous Caladan Park, involving RTU,
yes,
the old All Blacks.
Old
All Blacks. And in fact, RTU lost that match 0-1.
Okay.
And for us to leave Caladan to Accra, it wasn't easy. You understand? I mean, these were some few highlights. I mean, there were a lot of games. I mean, BA and Bofakwa games in at the Coronation Park was also a very high level standard. But for me, anytime they see me, in Sununyani, I mean, of course, I'll put up my smiley faces, to them, and so I'm always welcome there,
Okay.
even though, of course, 1 or 2 errors there, but then I'm always cool there. You understand? And then every year in my referee career, it's either I'll do their first leg or I'll do the second leg.
Okay.
You understand?
All
and
right.
so these were some few highlights.
Well, we will talk about your views on refereeing and technology, your vision for raising the standard of officiating and refereeing here in Ghana, which is at the heart of the Executive Council of the Football Association. But Mr. Kotey, let me ask you, during that illustrious and colossal career that you had, were you ever beaten somewhere? Were you given some lashes for
beatings? Yes.
For your performance?
Of course, yes. I mean,
rightly or unjustifiably?
Unjustifiably, of course. Of course, unjustifiably. There was a match at Winneba.
Okay.
Advanced Stars Vipers.
Vipers, yes.
At that time, Advanced Stars was being coached by a legend. I will not mention the name.
Okay.
I mean, a very, very high-profile player, at the time. And The match ended 0-0. Before that, that match has been called off 2 times. It never ended well. So they played the first leg, it didn't end. They played the second one, it didn't end. So the third one, they appointed me to go for that match. You understand? and the match ended very well, 0-0. But before I got home, from Winneba to Accra, it was like 5 hours. I tell you, 5 hours. Before I got home, one of my eye was swollen. In fact,
Oh, so you were physically attacked?
the assault on me was not easy.
Wow.
In fact, I was lying flat on the ground, and everybody I thought just come and kick me.
And kick you.
Either they are hitting me with something, they are kicking me with their legs.
Where was the security?
What? The security had left.
Wow.
They had left.
They had
At
they
that
had
time,
left
you
without
know,
a trace.
you know, at that time, the FA and security wasn't that much. I mean, they would just bring one police officer, one prison officer, and you have to go and do it. You understand? You see, and at the end of the match, when I just blew the whistle to end the game, I didn't know what happened. From nowhere, I was on the floor, and the beatings wasn't easy.
Wow.
Before I got home, and my mommy was like, "Alex, stop this work, stop this work."
But the passion wouldn't allow you to stop.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. And then there was one other incident at the famous Sudu Park,
Oh,
Cape Coast,
Cape Coast City Park.
Doors Kotoko.
Wow. I can imagine.
And that was when Doors, they had renovated the pitch because they were going to play in the CAF competitions.
Yes.
You understand? And so it was like a highlight towards the opening of the, stadium and that sort of thing. And yeah. It wasn't easy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. In fact, the inner perimeter fencing, at the other side where the doors people normally sit, everything just came in.
Wow.
Supporters had to break everything down. The police car that was even coming to pick us, they turned it upside down.
Wow.
And they will not allow any policeman to take us out.
Wow.
It wasn't easy. So we had to escape one after the other through the river, at the back of the. It wasn't easy.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It wasn't easy. It wasn't
quite
easy.
some reflections and experiences that you've endured.
But even all through that, we were still determined that we had set some objectives. We have some aim that we wanted to achieve, and so we still fight on. We still continue working. I think these were the most serious ones. There were some few ones that, of course, you will have some water being splashed at you, stones being thrown at you, and all that sort of thing. And
we have an exclusive interview with the referees manager of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Alexander Kotey. I mean, we normally look at Alex Kotey for short. But Mr. Kotey, 8 years of a distinguished career as a FIFA referee. What were some of the defining moments for you?
Ooh, Egypt. Champions League semi-finals, second leg.
Wow.
Between El Hali and El Hilal from Libya. Tough game, eh?
I can imagine.
75,000 capacity. Full. Eh? And from our hotel to the stadium, it wasn't easy. At the point, we even had to tell the driver to park for us to walk. Because we couldn't even get a space to go.
Of course.
The first leg ended 0-0. And so the second leg was for them to qualify for the finals. So you can just imagine. And here I am, small boy, Alex Kotey, going to officiate the game. When we got to Egypt, there were rumors that, who is Alex Kotey? They don't know Alex Kotey refereeing. Since when did he become and a whole lot of things. And so the then manager in charge of competitions just invited me to the CAF office. I went, and then he took some few profile of me. He said, "No, Alex, I want to put it out for them to know who you are," and that sort of thing. apparently the Egyptians were expecting referees like Kofi Koja, Koulibaly, Eddie Maye, and that sort of thing. You know, these were no names.
Yes.
You understand? Oh, we said, let's go there.
From where?
From where? You understand? And we went into the game. I said, look, you people, I'll prove to you that I'm from Ghana.
Small but mighty Ghana.
Small, yes, exactly. You understand? And we did a game. I think my assistant one was George Seja. Assistant two was David Lai.
Oh.
Yes. And we did a match without any problem. And Harley won by a goal, and that goal was an own goal.
Oh.
You understand? And so it went so well, and we loved them. But that was one of the toughest games.
Wow.
One of them. Very, very.
I mean,
very,
for the years of experience that you had at the international level, how did it change your philosophy about coaching, or the experience that you garnered at the top level?
You see, I always tell my younger referees that as you are growing, you need to mature. You need to have a lot of game management in the matches, especially at the high profile.
As the head of the referees management here at the Football Association, what is your vision for refereeing? Your real vision for refereeing? How do you want to see it in the next 5 years, 10 years, potentially, even after you have retired?
5 years, 10 years. It means that Akoto wants me to stay here till the next 5 years. Okay, so
what is really your vision
So I think that basically two things.
All right.
And I think that it is doable. The first one is to get a FIFA referee to the World Cup, to the World Cup final. That is the first thing. You know, when
that's very ambitious.
Yeah, very, 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 very
achievable.
Yes, it is. If not from the current crop of FIFA referees that we have, I'm looking at the next generation of the FIFA referees. We will get it. We will get there. If they are able to keep up with the work, the education and training that we have given them, I'm sure we will get there. When I came into refereeing, my target was to get to the FIFA referee and also get to the World Cup. That was my target. And for me, I said that I would not even bother if it is under 17, under 20, or whatever it is. The world stage was very important. I was not able to get there. And so I told myself that given this opportunity, I must get somebody to get there.
Mr. Kotey, what are...
And so that's the first thing.
Yes.
The second one that I mentioned has to do with technology. Now, refereeing is all about technology. So in the next 5 years, like you are saying, if God gives us life and I'm leaving, I want to see that we have implemented the VR. It is one thing on my heart. It is one thing on the heart of the FA president. And we want to ensure that
to see VR in the Premier League for the first time, that would be quite historic.
If I'm able to do that, I'm at peace.
You've completed your task.
I'm at peace.
What are the teething challenges? I mean, there are many, but what are the principal challenges facing officiating, facing referee?
Security is one.
In Ghana.
Security is one. Remunerations in terms of referees, allowances or stipends or that sort of thing is another area. The other one has to do with integrity. Integrity on the part of referees, integrity on the part of team officials, and all that. I think that if we are able to address these three areas, I think that our refereeing would go on very well. Yes. So security is crucial. Allowances, stipends that we pay to referees in terms of their indemnity and that sort of thing. For me, I would have wished that we have enough money that we can pay our referees very well. Okay. Then the other one has to do with integrity. Integrity from referees, integrity from the match team officials. I think that we need to work on these three.
How do you respond to claims or criticisms that say that some referees are just naturally bombarded, and that it does not really matter what processes or mechanisms the FA puts in place.
Okay,
They
so
are just bent on either collecting bribe or officiating in ways that do not reflect the tenets of the profession.
okay, and so there's an adage that says that I think that is in tree. If you be a mensa.
So when you see the Mensa, plug them out.
Exactly. So that is what we all need to do. If we see the mensa are on, you just plug the data person out. You understand? I think that in our own small way, if I say in our own small way, I mean from the refereeing department and the referees committee, we put in a lot of mechanism, a lot of structures that we are trying to pluck some of them out. But it's been quite slow, very, because we need to be very tactful in doing that. You understand? And so yes, we want to. In fact, this year alone, I can say that we have placed a lot of referees on the ice, either for poor performance. I would not want to use the word poor performance. Maybe errors, decision making, and that sort of thing. And so we put you on ice. We take you through some training. And then when we realize that you are okay, the referees committee will reinstate you, and then they will continue to use. There is one thing about me that I will always say: refereeing is for development. We don't destroy. But where you see a referee who is not in the position to be developed, you kick the person out. You just kick the person.
At what level do you come to the conclusion that this particular referee just does not have what it takes to be developed?
So you have you are appointed in a match. You go for your first game. We see some few errors. We call you. We take you through training. We discuss those errors with you. We are expecting that subsequently, when you go for games, you would avoid those errors, and then you go in again and you repeat them. You understand?
I understand.
It means that such a person, he's not ready for development. You see, and so just like what we are doing in CAF and in FIFA, when we go out for CAF matches and we see a potential referee, we recommend that, I think that this referee's team should be given a higher task, a higher game, and observed. You understand? So, because based on what you see at the moment, you want to give a recommendation. So you do that, and then another assessor also goes to observe and also confirms what I have said or what another person have said. It means that referee is developing. But then I see issues about you, and I write to CAF, and because I've written to CAF, I'll still tell CAF that, yes, these were some few areas that he needs to work on. CAF will give you a game again, and then give you another assessor. So if that assessor also comes out with the same thing, it means that you are not developed.
Okay, so we are on the GFA News, and we have an exclusive interview with Mr. Alex Kotey, referees manager. We go for a quick break. When we come back, there's issues about leadership, about integrity, about public confidence as far as officiating is concerned. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And my guest is Mr. Alex Kotey, referees manager of the Ghana Football Association. And Mr. Kotey, we have to continue, and I want to delve into what are you doing to strengthen integrity, consistency, and professionalism among refereeing?
Okay, and so one thing that I think that the FA has done so well, earlier on I had spoken about remunerations,
yes,
and allowances and stuff like that. And we can all attest to the fact that there have been high level of increase. I mean, for the first time, we saw 100%, increase in terms of their remunerations from 1,000 to 2,000, and from 1,001 to 2,500. You understand? These were some initiatives that the FA put in place just to help us to ensure that our referees are comfortable, and then also to ensure that integrity will not be in any way tampered with. And even aside of that, we also initiated the 50% discount that we actually got from the STC, which is still running. And so that was another area that we felt that our referees needed most, because every referee traveled the length and breadth of this country, as far as to Wa, as far as to Bolga, and that sort of thing. And so getting that discount was also a very good thing for the FA and also for the referees as well. And so, yes, and so when it comes to that, we believe that with all these initiatives, the referees don't have any complaints. Of course, though we still think that if it could be raised a little bit more again, it would be good. But then that is also in a way, because look, if you are a Class 1 referee and you happen to do 3 matches in a week as a Premier League referee, you are taking home 6,000 cedis. You understand? Yes. Okay. And for a FIFA referee, if you do 3 games in a month, you are taking 7,500. You understand?
Wow.
And so if you know that such an allowance will come, and of course, I think this year we have been very, very prompt when it comes to our payment. You understand? So we have not had some few issues there, but it is still work. I mean,
the issue about insurance for the referees?
Of course, the insurance also came in at a very right time. And recently, the referees who were assaulted in Cape Coast, we have asked them to bring their claims, and then we'll just put it in there for
you are a FIFA, CAF, GFA instructor, assessor. You've seen it all. How important is continuous education for these referees?
As long as you are alive, you must continue to learn. And so training is part of the development structures that we have put in place. And so we ensure that every year we embark on trainings, okay? And we do that because the laws of the game is dynamic, and every year there are changes, amendments, and that sort of thing. And so we always need to let our referees be abreast with the laws of the game. And so you can only do that through training, you understand? Aside of that, we also have weekly meetings with them via the Zoom. And so we take them through some videos. We do a lot of education, on the laws of the game, and then just for them to always be abreast with the happenings, in our league. And we are using our local games.
Yes.
In fact, when the league seasons are going on, we use our local games to do a lot more of the education, because we want them to see exactly what is happening. Yes.
Are your referees up to speed relative to the laws of the game? How ever changing, ever evolving, and the dynamism within the regulations and the laws of the game? Every time FIFA are making amendment, they are making changes. Our referees, are they up to speed relative to the laws of the game?
They are very much up to speed. Okay. And like I always say, refereeing and interpretation of the laws is based on your position. Okay. So if on the field of play, your
Based on your position on the pitch.
on the your position on the field of play.
Okay.
So if your position is not good, you may analyze a situation or maybe an incident wrongly. Okay. Just yesterday there was a video that we just watched, and it was a second division match here in Accra, and it has to do with offside.
Okay.
The assistant one flagged for offside, and of course his decision was right because the attacker had or made an impact on the goalkeeper. So in the loss of the game, we say that he has interfered with an opponent. The referee acknowledged and he disallowed the goal. Then the assistant two, who was far off, who had nothing to do as far as that incident was concerned, intervened. I don't know. Maybe he turned himself into a VR, and then he intervened, and the whole team had to change their decision and took a goal.
Wow.
This is very serious. You understand? And so positioning on the field of play is very, very important. Now, the loss of the game, you see, it is just like, two lawyers. They will go to the court and they will argue on a case.
Yes.
They will make references to cases. You understand?
Yes.
It is only the judge who will come to interpret these references that the lawyers have made. At the end of the day, he will pronounce his judgment. You understand?
Yes.
So it's the same with refereeing.
Wow.
Okay. So you look at the incident, you juxtapose it to the laws of the game, and then you come up with a decision. In our case, split.
Because you don't have the benefit of a replay.
You don't have a benefit of the replay. Even if you have, you must still make a decision before you can go for the replay and then go and watch. You understand? And so that makes the work a little bit difficult. Okay? Split the decision, interpretation of the laws of the game. If your position is not good, the interpretation will also be wrong. And then, of course, it will lead to an error. You understand?
Is there a system, or how do you assess the performance of your referees week in and week out? How do you assess their performance?
Okay, so we send some few assessors to some spotlights. We try to identify some match venues, and then we send an assessor there to go and observe the match and send us a report. When a referee knows that an assessor is there, he's careful, especially in his decision making, because he knows that at the end of the match, a senior person would sit him down and do a debriefing. Okay, and like I said, we want to develop. We don't want to destroy, and that is the main, work of an assessor. We develop a lot.
A lot of development goes into it. But how is your outfit? I mean, I know you come under barrage of criticisms, attacks, week in and week out, sometimes based on certain decisions. How is your outfit dealing with controversial decisions, and two, intense public scrutiny?
Okay, so let me talk about the first one first, because that is where we have the control. Okay, so every week we do, or we embark on, we have created a platform that we call technical review. And so, just like I said, we get a lot of clips after match days, and so we share these clips amongst ourselves as the technical instructors, and then we analyze it, and then maybe on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, we call these referees, for a debriefing, like somebody will say a postmortem, okay, where we play the videos, we play the incidents, and we ask of their opinion first.
Of course.
You understand? when we realize that they are trying to defend themselves, we tell them that my brother, wait. What does the law say? Because
always the big question: what does the law say?
Because every decision must be backed by the law. Every decision, unless you are telling us that you want to, apply the game management, which is football understanding. So, what does the law say? Let's take for instance a handball incident has happened, and the preamble of the law with regards to handball is that not all handball offenses are foul. That is the preamble. So if we know that not all handball offenses are fouls, and the player's hand was on the body, and the ball hits the hand, why did you take a foul? Okay. Because not all handball offenses are fouls. You understand? These are some of the things that the public don't know. And so the moment they see the handball, it must be a foul.
Wow.
You understand? And so that's why I said...
Some will even tell you that this is football, it's not basketball.
It's not basketball. once the
ball
now
touches
ball
the
is
hand,
standing there, it must be a foul.
So the claim is that once the ball touches the hand, it is a penalty. Is it accurate?
So now you want to look at the elements of a handball offense. What are the elements? So in the laws of the game, we have something we call the considerations. What the referee will consider to say that this is an offense, this is not an offense. So for instance, before we got to the studio, I happened to talk to the referee who did the UG corporate match.
Corporate league, yes.
Yes, league.
The one we lost, eh? You ever lost 5-0?
5-0.
Yeah, we don't want to say it, eh? We lost by the way to 5.
And so there was this argument that there was a handball incident.
Incident, yes.
And the assistant and the referee said that it was not a handball. So I asked them what happened. Then they said, oh, the ball hit the body of the defender before hitting the hand. Then I asked them a simple question. Did the trajectory of the ball change? They said yes. So in handball, if the ball hits any part of your body and the trajectory of the ball change before it hits the hand, it is not the hand that has stopped the ball, it is the body.
Wow.
So in that case, it is not a foul. But assuming the ball hits the body, but the trajectory continues, it did not change
the course of the
ball, and let's say the hand is outstretched, and then now the ball goes to the hand, it is now the hand that has stopped the ball, and not the body. You understand? Yes. So this is the law.
It's quite a bit tricky.
This is the law. Yes. And the boys, these goddamn young boys, were able to explain it to me. You understand? I said, wow, if that is exactly what happened, then you were right.
We will talk about catching them young and all that. I mean, it's a flagship policy of the Football Association. But how do you balance protecting referees and demanding for accountability? Yes, referees must be protected, but at the same time, they must be responsible for the actions or inactions on the pitch.
Perfect. Yes, and so one thing that we do, like I said, with in terms of the technical review, anytime we assess the referee, we discuss the video clips with the person, and then we realize that he erred in his decision making, we put that referee or the officials on ice. And some of them can go to about 6 games, 8 games on ice. Aside of that, the FA has also instituted the match review that they also come to also review the games, from time to time. And so that is what we are actually doing in terms of safeguarding them and all that sort of. Because you see, we believe that even though we don't announce some of these things in the public, but then if you don't see the referee for a while.
I wanted to ask that particular question actually, relative to what you just said. Is it in the past, referees who were caught in the crossfire were publicly announced? I mean, decisions that were taken against referees, but is it not a standard practice that referees who are put on ice, who are suspended, the decision is that we are not supposed to announce it? What went to? Is it a standard practice?
Okay, so when if I say we, I mean when the current FA took office, we needed to sanitize the system. And so one of the things that we said we were going to do was to publish it, just for people to know that there's some sort of punishment that was meted out to some of these referees. But I think that after a year or two, CAF and FIFA were not too pleased with it, because for them, they think that if it's not on integrity, but it has to do with a decision making, you don't need to publish it. When you do that, in a way, you are exposing our referees too much to the public, and and that sort of. And anything that goes on social media flies. You understand? Assuming that we say that we have suspended Daniel Lai for 8 matches, and CAF should hear of this, FIFA hears of this.
What do you think kills the career?
Exactly, you understand? Yeah. And so in a way, we try to not to protect the referees that much, but we try to protect the image of refereeing. You understand? So that the world, the public will not see referees as that's bad. You understand? And so that is the main reason why we decided to put them on an ice. In fact, it happens in FIFA, it happens in CAF, and they don't also publish it unless it has to do with morals. And the morals is about integrity, it's about bribery, it's about whatever. For that one, yes, but when it has to do with decision making, please. And that is why the idea of assessment is for development, but not for destruction. You understand? If you publish it in a way, you are destroying it.
Mr. Alex Kotey is the referees manager of the Ghana Football Association, and is my guest today as we delve into officiating, his philosophy, and the vision that he's brought to bear in raising the standard of the game. The Football Association has done tremendously. They've done many policies to enhance officiating in this country. But you've spoken about, let's now zoom into the video assistant referees. I mean, I think it's one of the things that you are looking forward to. How important or how crucial will it be for us to start implementing, even on a pilot basis, for the Premier League, the video assistant referee technology? It will be crucial for us.
Yes, you see, so like you said, I mean, the FA has done a lot in terms of in initiatives. I mean, when we came in, you realize that communication gadget was a problem. We had to bring a lot of them. Even the substitution boards, I mean, it was manual. Now we have gone
with chalk.
You have to write with chalk, and time you have to roll over and that sort of thing.
So you must always have a duster.
Exactly. But now we have the electronics, and you can input as many substitutions as you want, and then you are okay to go. And so when it comes to technology, I believe that the FA is doing so much, and we want to push on again. So the VR is basically to bring some level of credibility into our game.
Yeah.
Because all along, we are talking about credibility, integrity, and that sort of thing. So when in a game, the referee knows that this game is live and there's a VR being used, even if you take a penalty, even if you take a goal, whatever decision you make on the field of play, it's being scrutinized by the VR. You understand? Because the VR watch every incident on the field of play. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, and so by doing that, credibility in our game would be very, very high. And when there's credibility, it means that there'll be more money, because corporate bodies will now want to come and invest because they see some credibility now. You understand? Okay, and so for me, yes, the VR is quite expensive. It's a expensive venture, but we want to look at the bigger picture, as to what it brings on to our league. You understand? And so if we are able to do that, and even in a week we use 2 games, and there's VR, you understand, and and the decision is made by a referee, and then the VR intervenes and the decision is turned.
It helps.
It will help all of us. Yeah. At the end of the day, the media, the media bashing would also be reduced. You understand? And credibility, like I said, also comes in. Apart from that, it also raises the standard of our refereeing to the international world. You understand? Because when, apart from Daniel Lai now, who is a VR of official.
By the way, we will talk about him briefly.
Yes, of course. I don't know. You see, and so we want to get more accredited VR of officials. And so if you are not using the VR in your league, it becomes very difficult to as it were, train referees to be accredited as a VR of official. The moment we are able to get 2 or 3 more in addition, it means that the possibility of us going to the World Cup is very high. You understand?
Yeah.
And so these are a whole lot of things that the VR would bring on board. And for us,
public confidence is essential.
Very key.
You're talking about integrity, but why do your referees put the results in their pockets before they go? But the accusation is that the referees come to this venue and they have the results in their pocket. I don't know whether it's in the left pocket, the right pocket, the back pocket. But why do your referees put results in their pocket and go to venues to officiate?
The VR will remove them from their
but how do you address this issue about perception of bias, perception of unfair officiating, and sometimes accusation is that it is just outright incompetence.
Yeah.
The fact that the referee may not have necessarily been bribed by anybody, but just that the referee is just displaying gross incompetence.
Okay, so for us, before you get listed on the Premier League, it means that you are tried and tested. We just don't bring anybody onto the Premier League.
Yeah.
You understand? And so, of course, we all know that there are days that every human being will get a bad day. You understand?
Yes.
There are certain days you go to the game and things will not go right. Everything, your decision, nothing will go right. You understand? I will not sit here and say that in that case the referee was biased. It is very difficult to agree or to generalize and say that the referees are biased. I would want to rather say that maybe he did not get a good day. Just like any club will get a bad day. It is so also with our referees. They are also human beings.
Is leadership not being overprotective of some of these referees who are clearly always in the mirror?
We are not. And so that is why I say that. So if we realize that today it didn't go well, we'll put you on the ice and take you through some retraining. You understand? And make sure that you come back again. You understand? And then when you come back, we give you a much smaller game like in the duel, and then we observe you and see how best you have recuperated and you coming back before the referees committee would even assign you to go and do a Premier League game. You understand? And so we want to ensure that at least all our Premier League referees are on top of their games. And so at any point when we realize that it's not going well, we just let it to sit aside. And there are certain times I can even call a referee and I tell you that I think you are tired. Rest.
Okay.
You understand? Because if a referee week in, week out is traveling, on these our roads, it will get to a time fatigue will set in. And when fatigue sets in, it affects your level of thinking, your level of analyzing incidents on the field of play. So I will advise you, I think you need to take a week or 2 weeks break. And by so doing, maybe would you just give you a fourth referee very close so that you don't travel any long distances, just for you to get back again and then start off.
I still want to, remain at integrity because it is at the heartbeat of officiating and the thing that we talked about. And we've spoken about the fact that, normally we say here in Ghana, the giver and the taker are all guilty. Yeah. Has there been a situation whereby the taker has reported the giver? For instance, the referee has reported an administrator or a club official for attempting to bribe him. Has there been situations like that we've seen that they've reported them, and has there been consequences for these administrators if investigation do reveal that indeed they were culpable?
Okay, I think currently no, but in fact it was one of the defining areas that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Which has to do with my person.
Yes,
where I went for a match and a colleague referee was used to come and bribe. You understand? And I reported the case. At the then, FA, at the then, nothing happened. So I'm not saying that because nothing happened, so we must continue to do it. But of late, we don't. Our referees, I don't know whether they don't have the courage to report some of such incidents and that sort of thing. And so they will only tell you we are not interested, and that is the end. You understand? But I think that if they are going to be very bold and report some of these incidents.
Let me be very direct with you and be very straightforward with you. So,
I know where you're coming from.
No. Let me be very direct and very straightforward with you. So, can you convince us that, yes, officials have made attempts to bribe or to influence the referees? Can you convince us that your referees are who wield enormous integrity to withstand every pressure that come with clubs that are perhaps wanting to win the league, clubs that are struggling? Can you tell us that the referees that you have trained, the referees that you have educated, they will that enormous integrity, high level integrity, unblemished integrity, to say that you are coming to give me 10 million Ghana cedis, I will not take it?
I wish I would get a referee to do that. I wish I would get a referee to do that, seriously. But like I said, when they are traveling, I don't go with them. I don't travel with them.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
And so I cannot sit here and say that. But then, like I said, I wish and I pray that one day, one or two of them would report such instances to us. So I would not want to bring that up because we had an instance where a goddamn young referee had to make a report.
Really?
Yes.
Catch them young.
Yes.
There's an infiltration now. They catch them young policy now.
And it became a big issue. You understand? To the extent that some of the seniors didn't even want to travel with them again. You understand? And so we are trying to look at the whole thing.
How do we?
But it wasn't this year actually. I think it was.
I get the point. I get the
year
point.
Or two ago.
But it's dovetail into the next question I was going to ask you. I mean, the catch them young policy is such a brilliant one by President Kotey Okreku and the Executive Council. You have been at the forefront training these young boys and girls. That even been calls for catch them young match commissioners as well. How are we making sure that we insulate them from these bribery attempts? We completely protect them from the hawks who will always begin to find way of meandering their way through the pocket. I don't know whether it's the left or the right pocket or the back pocket of officials. How do we ensure that, or your outfit ensures that these catch them young promising stars, Angelo and Odro and the rest, are protected from some of our hawks within the football ecosystem?
Refereeing is money. We need to do a lot of investment in terms of trying to protect these boys from being manipulated when it comes to money issues and stuff like that. Yes, we have warned them that they should report of any such case to us. And so in the wisdom of the FA, we decided that we were going to ensure that anytime they are traveling, they are safe. They will either have to travel with a more senior person, like myself, like Madam Emanuela, like Jones, Ekubiem, like Madam Christine. And so we take care of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite striking.
Yeah, because, you see, we want to make sure that nobody gets closer to do them. So if I'm traveling with them, I arrange with them, they meet me at a point, and I take them in my car to the match venue. I get them a hotel to sleep. I pay.
I get the point.
And so I put them two in a room and they sleep. I take care of their feeding. You understand? I and not me alone. And like I said, all the other names that I've mentioned, we tell them that this is why we want you to travel with them.
Have you been?
We want to protect them.
Yes.
And so yes. And so in a way, we discuss with president, we discuss with the general secretary, and then we discuss with our accounts department, so that anytime these boys are traveling, at least we advance them their officiating allowance, so that when they get to the venue, they will not think of anybody coming close. And you know, it has helped a lot, because there have been feedback. And some of the clubs will tell you that, Nasam Kolaidi.
I think it's something that we keep hearing all the time.
Exactly. You know, and so we think that if we continue
to the extent that some are not even comfortable having catch them young referees, they say that they will come and interpret the laws to its logical conclusion. They don't like that.
You understand? You know, and so that is how we are managing them. From the FA perspective and all that sort of thing. We make sure that they are comfortable in their travels. We make sure that they go to the games. If they need anything, they call us. And we make sure that we take care of them.
Have you been impressed with the level of officiating in the Premier League, Women's Premier League, the domestic football this season?
I think that it is still work in progress. We have done quite well in some cases. In some other cases, I think that error in decision making has been quite high a lot. In the Women's League, in the last meeting, I told them that they are disappointing us because we never had incidents in the Women's League at all, you know. But I think that this time it is becoming more often, and so. In one of the meetings, I told them that they are disappointing us. And so the earlier they sit up, the better it will be for them. And so I think that is good. Some of them are doing very, very well, despite the challenges that they go through and that sort of thing. As for the catch them young boys, don't go there. I mean, wherever they go, as for the laws of the game, they interpret it to the highest, this thing. And so they are doing well. Refereeing in general is also not bad, but I think that we can still improve.
For the first time, for the first time in 54 years, a Ghanaian officiated the top level football on the African continent. Daniel Laye was in the thick of affairs between Morocco and Nigeria, and we all know what. I mean, for you as the referees manager, and for somebody that you work with like Daniel Laye. Tell me about his performance and how his general output was like from the referees, from your output point of view.
You know, Daniel is a chap who is ready to learn.
Yeah.
And he's learning. And so adding the VAR.
By the way, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's my school son at Accra Academy. So he was my school son. So.
Adding the VAR to his development as a referee has really helped him a lot. Yeah. In 2014, thereabout, when we brought Daniel Laye onto the FIFA list, he was then 26 years.
Yes, that was 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
And we received a lot of bashing. From the RAG, from other refereeing. Why have we brought him? He's too young. He has no experience, and all that sort of thing. But we were resolute, and we said that no matter what these people will say, we will leave him there. Today,
he's a poster boy for Ghana.
You understand? And so that is what we want to do to the Academy young boys. We want to expose them to high level of refereeing very early. As we speak with you now, as I speak now, a lot of them are between the ages of 22, 23, 24. And by the FIFA regulations and the procedures, you must be 25 years before you can come onto the FIFA list. Okay, and so we are saying that given everything 2-3 years to come, we will see at least 1 or 2 of them coming onto the FIFA list. And when they are able to come on early, just like Daniel Lai did, it gives you that opportunity to get to the higher level. And that is what we want.
Fantastic, Referee Alex Kotey. We'll be wrapping up in a bit, but what is your advice for aspiring people who want to become referees or aspiring referees? What is that particular advice, one word that you would tell anybody who has the desire to wear the uniform?
I think the only thing I would tell them is that refereeing is a noble act, and when you come into refereeing, you enjoy refereeing, especially when you take your lessons seriously. You are disciplined. You show high level of integrity. You want to learn. You understand? Then, of course, I can tell you that you will enjoy being a referee. A very noble act. People will respect you a lot when your name is mentioned. I mean, of course, anywhere I get to and people don't even know me, the moment I mention my name, I'm accorded whatever necessary courtesies and that sort of thing. And so it helps a lot, and it raises your image, as a person. You understand? But you have to do it well. You have to do it without any blemish. Without any blemish, you understand? And that is how people would also see you and people will respect you.
And what are you doing to elevate I know you've spoken, giving some bullet points and all that, but what are we doing to elevate the standard of officiating in the country at the moment?
We will continue with the retraining. We will continue with the review of their matches. We will continue putting some of them on ice, and we will continue every year. We will do demotion and promotion. We will demote some and we will promote some. As for that one, there is no bargaining about that. If we realize that in the course of the year your performance wasn't good, we'll demote you and then we'll bring somebody else.
As we wind down, are you concerned about the lack of the least number of Ghanaians who are officiating at the international level? For instance, at the AFCON, only Daniel Lai is seen as both VAR and central referee. Beyond Daniel Lai, we don't appear to have some of our A-rated referees.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
What is the problem?
It's a challenge that we have identified and we want to take it head on. Luckily, I now serve on the WAFU-B as a member of the referees committee. Yeah. And so we had a meeting.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
Congratulations!
Yes, thanks.
It speaks volumes of your pedigree.
Yes. We had a meeting the last time, and we tried to analyze the past 3 years, number of referees that have officiated, at the CAF level, and it was bad. Okay, and so it is not only Ghana, but I think that in our zone we are actually struggling, and I think that we have borrowed that initiative of the Catch Them Young from Ghana, and we want to implement it in Wafafu. You understand?
Yes.
And so very soon we'll be having a course in Ghana where we are bringing young referees below the age of 25. You understand? And we want to take them through this, and so we are working from our zone, and we are working within our country. And as I said, 2-3 years, all things being equal, if our referees these kind of young referees continue to officiate the way they are doing, don't be surprised to see 2 or 3 of them on a FIFA list.
Mr. Kotey, it's a pleasure always to be cross-fertilizing ideas with you, and it's been an amazing time taking us through the trajectory of you, at the time that you were on the pitch and now into full-time administration. We spoke to the referees manager of the Ghana Football Association, Alexander Kotey, of course, simply put, Alex Kotey, and it's been an incisive and in-depth conversation about officiating, refereeing in Ghana. And the level of public confidence that we expect from these referees. This is where we wrap it up. My name is Patrick Akoto.